Yes, yes. Welcome to another episode of Motherfucking Valuable Perspectives. I'm super excited today. We have another special guest, Kareem. Kareem is one of the Hexicans from the Hex community. Welcome, my brother. Welcome.
Thanks for having me. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it. Thanks for the kind words. Glad to be here.
Yeah, man. So, I've been watching Kareem on the Quant Gang channel. He has a channel a show rather, where they talk all about Hex. They're starting to dive into the pulse chain and just the details of, why you should become a staker, why they believe you should become a staker, why they become stakers, and just breaking down the math of it. So, we have a really special show for y'all. So make sure you stay tuned in and we'll jump into the. So
Amazing.
Kareem, thank you, my brother. So why don't you tell us about yourself and how you first got involved in crypto in the first place?
Yeah, awesome. And then just real quick, just for the listeners out there. So the name of the channel, it's Maddie Allen's channel. I'm very busy because I'm also in the real world, which I'm going to talk about for my story. So it's Maddie's channel. So I don't have a channel because I'm just too busy. And as a community, like you said, we work as a unit. But on every Tuesday, 8:30 p.m. live Eastern, that's when we have the Quan Gang show. So that way I can come in once a week because I'm very busy and then just drop a lot of content. And then we go for like multiple hours. So, but yeah, great. And then obviously my guests are Gregory Maddie, Wells Only, stuff like that. So,
They go deep, y'all. So make sure y'all
yes,
tune into that show. Yeah, hit
I
up
love the math.
YouTube. Yeah, search Quant Gang.
Yep. And you can find us on Twitter too, very easily, and I'm at Your Magic. So yeah.
Yes.
First question you're asking, how do I get to crypto? Or
Yeah. First, kind of like how you got into crypto. Like, where did it come into your life? What year was it? How did that happen?
yeah. I think it's the famous, 2016 run to 2017. So funny story. I've heard about crypto since 2014. Actually, my friend's coworker, because I'm in sales, right? Professional sales, and when I came from my country back in Africa, and I'm in Boston, and did the engineer thing school. Then I got into sales. I realized, wow, sales is really the future because you can make a lot of money
Right.
without having a degree if you do the right thing and you're committed and you're driven. And then I started to make six figures, and it's like, wait a minute, I started to reconsider. Like, nothing wrong to those who want to do the degree route, whatever. Like, I went to school because I wanted to learn. It wasn't about the
Right.
money. But then it got to a point where the money became so crazy. And then my boss at the time and friend was like, yo, if you can take this seriously, you can take it to the next level. And then,
Right.
one thing led to another. Also, timing wise, there was some crazy stuff going back home. My dad had some
Hmm.
issue, couldn't send the money
Yeah,
for me to
hear
go to
that.
school, stuff like that. I have other siblings, and they were close to graduate as well. So basically, they got theirs. I didn't get mine. It is what it is.
Hmm.
But you see, but that's a different mindset that I have, right? Added to the
Right.
gratitude. Like, I made it here. It's not like the guy couldn't, didn't want to help me. The money run out because of, some
Right.
crazy stuff going on back home. So that really pushed me to like, okay, this sales thing became from a hobby, doing it on the summer. I'm talking old school, door to door. Like, I've done it all. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
TV
Me
sales,
too.
TV, internet, phone, cable,
Hmm.
alarm systems, and I'm in the solar business. So
Hmm.
one thing led to another, being successful, doing the right thing, getting out of quote unquote poverty, getting your own place, do all this other stuff. And my friend, the coworker, is talking about this Bitcoin thing. I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, dude, don't waste my time making six figures, not to brag, but like,
Right.
I'm trying to get my paper. I'm trying
Like,
to get
I'm
out of
making
debt.
money.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
making money for the first time, like, and mind you, again, I didn't finish the degree thing, right? Because it was 5 years and I was, 3 years into it, shit happened. So I just had to switch.
Mhm.
So long
Yeah.
story short, I was myopic. So I couldn't see the opportunity because usually
Mhm.
I'm a go getter. I'm gonna try all kinds of stuff, but that was my try. And I was already basically burned the ship, meaning not doing the school thing anymore. So I
Yep.
couldn't risk
Yep.
that. So,
Right.
and the guy who works with me, I'm making way more. I'm like, bro, this and that, you're trading. That's to me, I'm not really big about the trading stuff, the gambling stuff. Let me make the money because that's important. Let me get out of my situation. Then
Right.
again, 2016 rolls around. Then he gets my attention because he comes back, dude's a
How do you get
millionaire.
attention?
Dude comes back as a millionaire. He buying this Bitcoin
He's
because he
showing
told me,
yeah.
because I remember the price, 300. But you see, I don't know what's going on. But like that That thing is like $3,000. And that was a big
Right.
deal because I remember when it was 200, 300, I heard about it. This on the fly,
Right.
Bitcoin, this, that. One of my friends made 200 grand just because he was buying some random stuff online. He needed some Bitcoin. That's the only reason why he bought it, because he was buying something online and then you forget about it. He had like, 10, 20 Bitcoin just lying around, bro.
Mm.
That thing. So now I put my, okay, now you get my attention. Now I pay attention and I devour content. Like when I bite into something,
Right.
dude, I go deep. So next thing
Right.
you
Me
know,
too.
a week later, boom, oh my God, what's going on, dude? And I start buying. Bitcoins obviously start to run, the 6K run, little correction, and basically the run up to 20K, right? But like literally within a week to 10 days, I realized the technology, cryptography, what's going on. I see
Yep.
the problem that it
Yep.
solved beyond money. Again, I'm from Africa,
Right.
right? I know about the Western Union.
Hmm.
I know
Where
about
in Africa you
money.
from?
It's called Central African Republic. I was born and raised there. It's
Hmm.
literally right in the middle, next to Cameroon. Yeah, we speak French there
Right.
and
Nice.
Sango.
Hmm.
So I can see the use case that people are talking about because I know people that send money. I have family friends sending money back home. I have sent money back home, family in this,
Yep.
or I've received money when I was going to school, and the fee is
Right.
stupid, stupid.
Yep.
So just that
Yep.
alone, it makes sense. And transferring money worldwide, blah blah blah. Obviously, speculators going to do speculators do. But I started to agree with the ethos. I'm like, oh wow, I can park my money there because beyond the price going up, I can send the money. I can help people out. It's quick if you like wire transfer, but quicker. You know what I mean? Within
Right.
10 minutes at a time. Then I go
You ain't
deep.
got to deal with nobody. Go to no bank, or you ain't got to go to no
Exactly.
shop. Yep.
Exactly. So everything's popping. We're doing what we do, blah, blah, blah. Within 10 days, I heard about and learned about Ethereum because I go deep, and I heard about, limitation of Bitcoin, this, that, whatever. Because yeah, it do take 30 minutes an hour sometime. And then this Ether thing goes faster. So next thing you know, fell in love with like the pre-DeFi because it has to say pre because back then it's not what it is now. It was just kind of
Right.
infancy, trying around.
Yeah.
But just again, the idea, wow, because money markets, lending, all this other stuff, the potentials. And it's important because I learned about that. Then I learned about Ethereum. And then at the time, EOS was coming around. So
Hmm.
believe it or not, I hold Bitcoin for like maybe like 2 weeks, then Ethereum. And then also a month later, you heard about the limitation of Ethereum, this and that. Because again, you can see the transaction fee going up, the crypto kitties, basically the story that everybody knows. And then I felt, well, at the time, EOS came in, then Larry Murray got very analytical to some degree, like delegated proof of stake, what it could do, this, that, fix the basically the transaction issue, right? So I get in, Bitcoin's a little slow, Ethereum, right? This DeFi thing, lower price, obviously. So you think, higher upside, right? Unit bias. And then you're like, oh, but that thing is full. Then you hear about the new stuff that's gonna come around, you know what I mean? And then I was there during the
Right.
launch, went to the events, went to DC, the whole 9 yard, the community, vibrant, cool people. I'm on Telegram, 20,000 people. I'm like, this is cool. Talking to people
Hmm.
worldwide. Remember, that's my first vibe. You know what I mean?
Right.
And
Right.
then with your airdrop, everything is cool. But then again, even as an investor, you don't know how expectation work of others. But long story short, they didn't deliver what they were supposed to deliver.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? And
Hmm.
again, I'm not salty. It is what it is. I hold
Right.
this thing literally from less than $2 because I was early enough. I wasn't ICO early, but I was, when it started trading on Binance and stuff like that. He started trading around like $1 and stuff, 50 cents at some time, and then he ran all the way. I hold it literally. This is a funny joke. All the way to $21, all the way back to 3 because
To the
but
moon and
again,
back.
exactly, because it was really quote unquote the advanced proof of stake because Dan Larimer, he did the BitShare, he did the Steam, so he had rep. But then it's important to the story because I didn't just did what I was told. I really believed in it. I was using the token, I was doing the transaction, I was participating in the ecosystem, doing some other stuff. And I was just kind of delegating my stuff. People could use it. I could invest in the space. So I was just looking at it like I have EOS. I wasn't looking at, oh, my money, this and that. But then again, the hopium, it is important because it's going to transition to hex. Like
Hmm.
this whole, we're going to do X, Y, and Z, and we don't fucking do it. Yes, there's no expectation and work of others, but this was the biggest, to me, slap in the face. You raise all this
Hmm.
money, 4+ billion, again, record, you know what I mean? Hopefully Pulse can beat that, but nonetheless,
Right.
record rise. And then what did you do? You go back and invest into the project of the thing that you said you're going to go and quote unquote destroy or beat or whatever. No, that's a slap in the face. And even worse, you go and you buy back Bitcoin as your reserve after you've been talking all this crap. You're going to do X, Y, and Z. You know what I mean? To me,
Right.
that's the biggest thing. That's an African thing, right? We're very loyal to trust.
Hmm.
Like your word is your
Hmm.
bond. You know what I'm saying? Like If you couldn't do it, just take the L. Tell me, Kareem, you know what, we couldn't do it. Don't lie to me. Don't add the opium. People putting their hard money. We're out there talking to people, the dream, this, that. And then you're gonna pull this fast one. Not only you fail, but then you buy back, you invest in project that's not on the chain. And then you play the, oh yeah, no expectation. We just gave away the chain. That's true, but that's a cop out. You know what I mean? That's like, after what you did, no. Obviously now they're trying to fix it, but I think damage was done. Right. But this is when I learned, right? Everything that I do in life, right? I always say this, personal development. You either win or you learn. And I was like, Kareem, what can you learn from this? What? Because everything else worked out. Community was great. The idea was great. The blockchain worked to some extent. We're starting to catch traction. People were relying on that money to come in and splash and do some good things. That's why people could play the, hey, no expectation. We're going to give the money because we know the money could be used. You see what I'm saying? We have no problem. We're not out there calling out, oh, your security, this, that, whatever, which, by the way, they only got a slap in the face, but in a wrist. But it's like, no, that move to me was the ultimate disgusting move. And this is when I was like, I'm out. Because I'm like, you know what?
And that's just sold your shares, you're out. Yep.
Yeah. And also at the time, that's when obviously, I started finding out about HEX, because I've been kind of like following Richard Hart here and there due to just random pop-up, the famous IOTA rant when he was that. But remember, Richard does
on IOTA.
Exactly. Oh man, I saw that live. I was like, oh man, this guy's a smart dude. Makes sense. He's talking that real talk. I kind of like the cursing in a way, like a real person. You know what I mean? Not like it's a big deal, but like it tells you how it is. Very smart, very knowledgeable about the space. Tell you the in and out, the dirty secrets. All what's going on. So you're out there, getting educated, getting entertained, and learning about the space. But this is important. The reason why he was only popping off here and there is because Richard doesn't monetize his channel, right? There's no crazy random stuff that comes in. So famous viral video, but then after that, I didn't do the like and subscribe at the time because I just thought, what's going on? So he kind of disappeared, but he left an impression. You know what I mean? And then one thing led to another, which is kind of funny. Comes back, random video, and then I hear about this HEX thing, right? And mind you, launch phase kind of already started, whatever. And I was, doing the EOS thing at the time, but then transitioning out. And then honestly, I was this close, like apathy, like what? All just like scam, pump and dumps. I don't have time for this. Like I was just like, literally my last move was this. I'm just gonna keep doing my hustle like I was because I make my work, I do my sales, make 6-figure plus whatever. So I was like, literally, I'm just gonna turn Ethereum into my savings account, buy that thing because that makes sense to me, and then whatever. Whether it fails or not, like Bitcoin was supposed to be certain things and it didn't, but the price still went up. It still had the most use case. Most of the launchpad tokens was on there. So I was like, I put 2 and 2 together. It's like, do you want to have, Manhattan or LA real estate, or you want to be in the boom? You know what I mean? You still didn't know what could come out of it. But you say, you know what? It's too early. It's too deep. Just buy the asset, chill. And then whenever something else comes out, then you can see. But that was the learning from EOS. No more projects, products, big things. We're big about that because we had to learn, right? At the time, I watched my account go from, 20K invested, went all the way to like $400,000 back to 20K. So that memory doesn't just go like that. But the lesson was project versus product.
Right.
And if you don't do that, then that means you don't learn. That means you're going to get punched.
And you want to describe what's the difference between the project and the product?
Perfect. Because a project, again, I'm in sales. People will sell you opium, this and that. Now, to be fair, some of it could be well intended, but at the end of the day, it's people's money. Yep. Somebody's not maybe out there straight up scamming. Like we use the perfect reference saying, hey, most businesses, most restaurants fails. Does that mean they're out there scamming people? No. But you got to be able to tell the investors exactly. And the investor need to really understand, hey, what kind of food is being served here? Where's the restaurant? What's the location? What's the demographic? What's the price target? You know what I mean? Like, it makes sense. You know what I mean? It's funny, like, black communities, we love chickens. Chinese open restaurant left and right because they know we're going to come in after the club, whatever, 2, 3 a.m., we're going to be back. So all these things, right? You already know. Because if not, you're gambling out there and you're going to get punched in the face. And because there's a lot of opium and this and that, because again, I'm a value investor. I'm a long-term. I'm not looking for the pump and dump. Yeah, you can catch a wave. And then what? You're going to switch to another token and you don't even know if it's going to go down. Like, where do you know what I mean? That's why people, to some extent, I feel bad for the maxis, in the little transition, because they're so either apathetic or scared about the space that they're just going to stay to Bitcoin because they're afraid to go somewhere else and then get scammed, because there's also a lot of scams out there, right? But then again, you got to do the work. So that's why I made that promise to myself. I'm going to do the work. If not, I'm just going to leave it on Ethereum, and that's that. Whether it moons or not, it doesn't matter. You know what I mean? And because he was starting also to correct, because the famous 1400, then he went all the way down to whatever. So it's like, it's low, the chart, you understand, eventually it's going to go back there, right? It might take a while, accumulate now, don't invest anything, keep the ether, and then that's that. You see what I mean?
And what price did you get in on Ether? Like, at what time was that when you first got into Ether?
Well, here's the funny thing. The first, back in the day, 2017, Ether already did that first mega pump, $300-$400. You know what I mean? But he was on his way to do the 6 figures. But all of that, right? I put that into EOS at the time. You know what I mean? Because I had like 20, 30 grand, whatever. Turned into the big money. I was like, oh, we're going to change everything, and then this whole thing went down. Some of it was even a little bit lost. You know what I mean? But by the time I transitioned back to Ethereum was back to the $200 range, you know what I mean? Maybe 180. But mind you, that was the bear market, you know what I mean? Because that's why EOS went all the way back to 3. You know what I mean? Some of it back to even the 2. They were below the famous below ICO price, because after the end of the ICO, we were at least $4 when we were calculating, 4.3 billion or 4 billion plus 1 billion token, right? Quick maths. So you're like, okay, it's worth at least 4. So that was the supposition that kind of hold the price for a while, but then it broke. And that's like, oh my God, best loose. Because all the validators and stuff, they were just getting all the free, it's proof of stake, and then nothing's being built. So what did they just keep selling the token, and they're just extracting value. Certain miners didn't care. They were just buying enough stakes to get in, be a validator. They don't talk to nobody. They don't try to do the voting. They don't try to talk to the community because they don't need your coin. You already got wrecked. They're just going to buy the thing, get the ownership stake, and then just start to siphon energy. Exactly. So this is where we are. We're getting wrecked, but again, that's how you learn, right? Everybody got this one cycle, and you get to see, and you want to learn from that situation. So by the time I switch back, Ethereum's definitely below 200 at some point in 150. I mean, there's a big crash to 89, but whatever's left is there. So that's my basis. And then I start just to buy Ethereum, just low key, after tax dollar paycheck, just accumulation, nothing crazy, just and I look around, and then poof, Richard popped back on my stream. Oh wow, I heard about this, the HEX. I said, oh wow, what's going on here? And then no more, whatever. And then he had the famous interview with Dave Levine. And he was there. This first interview, obviously, Dave was clueless what's going on. But that's what's beautiful about Richard. It's like he always talking to deliver as if like you don't know who's watching. You know what I mean?
Hold on, Kareem. Hold on for 1 second. You're breaking up.
Oh, sorry.
Me?
I don't know if it's the internet connection, but I can hear you.
Yeah, I think we lost connection. Give me one. All right,
here
we go. Can you see? There we go. We better. We're back.
Sorry.
All right, say that last part again. So you said you saw the Richard Hart.
I saw the Richard Hart video with Dave Levine. Dave Levine, that was his name. Dave was being clueless, of course, not understanding what's going on. And there's a lot of bias, you know what I mean? Because again, sometimes people confuse. Because you make money doesn't mean you're smart about the space. You need to learn how to humble yourself, because Rich has been there since the beginning, mining the Bitcoin by himself. It's not people that don't know, that just talk up to that. They'll feel, oh, he's bragging, he's this, that. No, there's an old saying. My mom used to say this all the time. She says, son, it's not bragging if it's true. If you can back it up, you can back it up. You know what I mean? If that hurts you, that's you projecting. That's you and your feelings. You need to go figure out your feelings and come back. Because in this is what we do with quick maths. And like, no, because he can back it up. The cocky people are people that talk shit and then they cannot back it up, or they just trying to like wishy-washy. And that's what he was really destroying the IOTA guys, because there was a lot of people just throw jargon, fancy words, confuse you. You don't know what's going on. They cannot dumb it down, because a true professor, my first job was a math tutor. True professor is able to break it down to the ridiculous, to simple term, because he truly understands it so well. You can use analogy. See, that's why I do well in the community, because I use analogy, because I know who I'm talking to. I can elevate or I can bring it so low, but everybody gets the point. That's really what this is about. So
you're in sales, so it's all about communication at the
end of the day. Absolutely. Like you said, the delivery message is more important at times than the message itself. But the professional understand that, like I know some people sometimes, you can be direct without being rude. Big difference. People sometimes confuse the two, or they don't understand. Oh, this and no. You're very direct, but you don't have to be rude. So people don't get it confused and understand what's going on. And then you make sure it's broken down that they get it, so there's no room for misunderstanding. You know what I mean? So, but he always does it like somebody important is potentially watching this video. That's the view by the internet, right? That's why we love interview, because an interview can be done today and then last decades about, oh wow,
Right.
this was the beginning. People coming to learn, dude. So when people can talk smack, you can point back to the interview. No, we told you what's gonna happen, and then it happens. So it's not
Yeah,
like
for our audience, they're gonna hear you talk about Hex 5 years from now, and think, and that's the thing, that's the point of this whole channel and show. And I think what you guys do, it's like we want to give entertainment, but we also want to give information, because that's really the root of all this, right? If you would have had the
absolutely
information about Bitcoin at the very beginning, or Ethereum at the very beginning, or Hex at the very beginning, right? Just those three are in thousands, millions of X's, right? For Bitcoin
yes,
and
yes.
Ethereum and Hex now. So, it's the information that's so important. Like you said, humbling yourself, because there's different opportunities that are always arising.
Exactly. And that's the difference between, being smart and being wise, right? Like I told my story, when my friend came the second time, right? I humbled myself, right? Because I was making literally 5 times more money than this guy, in the sales game.
Right.
But he
Yeah,
still
you could have just
came
brushed
back.
them off.
Exactly. But and also because of my situation at the time, I was just focused. I couldn't risk it. But the thing was, when he came back and he was a millionaire and he showed me results, you see, key results. Yes, there's a little bit of trading, this and that, but I could put two and two together to understand that most of the time he just bought the thing and sat on it. You know what I mean? And then he started opening the space. Karim, you gotta listen to this. And that's my friend. Why would he want to, And at the time, that caught my attention, because that's dollars, that's real stuff. Because of the other
Yep.
work, you're not giving the results. And that's not mean that he's not trying, but he just wasn't getting the results. So I was like, bro, I'm no offense. Again, I came from my situation. That's my life here. I can't just gamble it.
Yeah.
But because I maintained an open mind, and when he came out with the board result, I see him traveling the world, this and that, and getting some stuff. I'm like, oh wow, he thinks I can do it too. Now I pay attention, and then thank God, rabbit hole, everything explained from that. And basically, I say, get out of the way. I got this. So let's make it happen, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm
So
watching.
let me ask you
Yeah.
one question.
Mhm.
What was it about Hex that made it make sense? Was it Richard Hart? Was it the technology? The kind of the gamification, the pumpamentals.
Yeah.
What was it that really caught your attention for Hex?
Perfect. That's a great point, because that's what I was about to transition to. As I'm watching the video, like I said, David Levine has no clue, but he's literally breaking everything down, right? Things that I obviously already understand, because being in the traditional market. Because again, even at my work, I was already familiar with stocks, 401k, what's going on. And again, I'm a value investor, long-term hold, dividends, stuff like that. That was my dream, literally. My dream was literally to find something I could just park my money, earn yield, chill out. Best job in the world, right? It's like better than real estate, to my understanding, because you don't even have to call nobody, this, that, maintain this property, call this,
No
call that.
rents.
No middleman, just you do put your computer. You can be half across the world. And that was kind of the original thought with Ethereum too, or even EOS, the whole proof of stake, right? That I felt a lot more than the Bitcoin, because why can't we be the miners without the overhead, the pollution, and all the other stuff? Not to be political, but just so that the little guy can just do that too. Stack your money, chill, and then be like them. It adds to the decentralization too, right? You're a node. So it's like, what the hell? So that to me was number one. Okay. It's like, oh wow. It's a finished product. Once again, complete, because it was already in a launch phase. The first basically 100 plus days was already passed, literally like 140 days plus before that interview. So finished product, he was talking about all the time. Blockchain CD, right? Hex.com. To keep it simple, it's blockchain by CD. The longer you stay, the more dude, that's music to my ears, right? I'm a long-term planner.
That's what you're looking for.
Exactly. And my friend that became a millionaire out of literally his grandpa gave him like $15,000 as his kind of like retirement. Grandpa passed away, bless his heart, but give him that as a severance package for him to, whatever. And he was doing a little bit of trading, but then he moved to crypto. So then when I saw that, I was like, oh, wow, the gain's bigger, less risk. You sit on it. Again, asymmetrical return, right? Less risk because you can get more upside. And there's a lot of sitting, doing nothing, which I agree. That's what life is about. That's what personal development is about, delayed gratification. Anywhere you go, all the successful people, the Jeff Bezos, the Elon Musk, the whatever, right? Elon slept on a couch, reinvested all the money in the one big sale company he had. He opened 3, right? That's delayed gratification. Everywhere you see, you plant the seed, you watch the fruit grow, right? And the more you plant, the bigger the tree get. Now you got many fruits, and you can help other people, and then those become the seeds, right? So all those principles are aligned. I'm looking for that type of CD. Obviously, it's related to blockchain, which means it's insane in terms of percentages, because we're getting garbage at the bank. So anything more than double digits, I was already sold, because even Ethereum at the time, we're talking about 32 ETH, the this, the that, ETH 2.0, we keep, trending joke, keep hearing about it. It's not coming out. But I was pretending, even if it comes out, you're looking at what, 8%, 15%, if you're lucky. And the more you get less. So when HEX was already double digit and up, that perked my attention. Understanding how it works, went to the website based on who's staked, what's going on, right? The interest rate, all that kind of stuff. But again, ultimately, the share rate system, if you want to dive into that, but the fact that it mimics compounding interest, the fact that longer pays better is important on top of bigger pays better, because bigger pays better, that's just capitalism 101, right? If you bring more capital, you deserve to earn more. You and I have the same opportunity though. Like if we got to earn 37% APY on a long-term stake, you and I get the same 37%. The only difference is, right, if I bring 6-figure and you bring 10K, we'll both get the same 37%, but it's proportional, right? But the share system is really what allows you to stay long term, even if big money comes in and the wells, whatever, you have an opportunity to still be able to compete. The trade-off, right? Trade-off is that you have to show the system commitment.
Delayed gratification.
Say, hey, I'm gonna give you a bonus. You say you're gonna be here, word, you for real? Boom. Because obviously there's hard penalties on purpose, which is again part of the game theory to make sure that everything goes according to plan. So for the viewer watching, the power thing about the mimic compounding of the share system is, let's say two people have the same amount of money, stake on the same day for, let's say, 2 years. But one guy thinks he's smart, he's going to do 1 year stake and then restake everything plus interest for another year. He will always make less money than the guy that just do the 2 years straight. The system will make sure of that because of the share rate, which always goes up.
Always increases as time goes on. Yep.
And for those watching, share rate started at 60 cents. Now it's almost $3,000. That's how insane. And it constantly ratchets up faster and faster because, again, it mimics compounding. What does compounding curve does, right? If you think that was acceleration, that's just less than 2 years. What do you think is going to be 15 years from now? It's going to accelerate faster and faster, especially as the price of HEX goes higher and higher because its value, the share is valued in HEX. Example, if share rate goes up 50 points, 50 HEX every other day, which is trending right now. Back in the day when it was thousands of a penny, nobody cared. Oh yeah, pennies, not even pennies, cents or lower than cents. But now when HEX is 10 cents, on its way to 20 cents, now 50 points is a different story. Now it's like, okay, it's $10 plus, and let's say we go to $1, right? Hypothetically, just to make a easy math. 50 to 100 points every other day. That means that the share rate cost, the T-share cost, goes up $50 to $100 a day. That's insane. And that's why I was educating people since way back when, because I was the one that pioneered the long-term 15-year stake. People told me crazy, but I went and I showed the math. And then I said it since 9 months ago. The T-share is going to be more expensive than the Bitcoin. People thought I was crazy. And started trending, and now they start to see the math. Guess what? A T-share is already more expensive than the Ethereum right now.
I saw that.
You know what I'm saying? I saw that. And it's on its way because that's just what the math does, irrespective of what the price, because share rate will continue to accelerate. And even if we stay where we are, it's still growing right now. If it does 50 points and we are about, 15 cents, let's just run it up to 20 cents. And it goes up, let's say 50 to 100 points. Let's say 100 points every other day. That means that it's going up $20 a day or every other day. Right. $20, $20, $20, $20.
And that's based on how much you're getting paid out on your rewards.
Exactly. As the people end stakes, the system looks at it and say who was the highest AP interest paid, and if you're not, it resets it as the new share rate. So because there's so many dynamic stakes coming in and out of the system every day now, and we're growing at an exponential rate. So to make it simple for the viewer, the share rate right now is averaging to make it simple, 20 to 30 points change every other day, and again, it can only goes up. So if we do the math based on, again, 20 cents, it tells you it's like $5 to $10 every day going up. As the price goes higher, the valuation of this change is going to go higher as well and faster. That's what Richard said best, which is true. The only thing more beautiful than the HEX price chart is the T-share price because it's determined in HEX. So it's moving fast. It's compounding on top of something that's growing at an exponential rate.
So I love all this. We're getting into the nitty gritty, which I think is important, right? Because just people understanding what are they getting into. And that's why I wanted to have you on, is your understanding of the T-shares. Everything is so detailed, and kind of giving people understanding. Like you said, HEX is a CD on the blockchain. So if you could just summarize, like, for the layman's, right?
Yes.
What is HEX? And then how, if I wanted to, if I'm listening to this, how would I, invest in Hex and like, stake? What would I do if I wanted to do that
Exactly.
in the
So
summary?
got you. So back to the CD thing. There's something in the real world, right? Certificates of deposit, and I say it could be another name where you're from. Basically, you lock up your money and then you get interest on your money. And the blockchain version just give you a better yield. And in the system, you can stake as short as 1 day, literally, or as long as 5,555 days, which is the max. So it's even more fluid than the bank. You get to choose. You are in control. No, the bank, they might say, okay, you got 1 year CD, 2 year, 5 year, and that's that. You can't pick it. This you literally can customize, which is kind of the key because we're calling staking ladders. So you don't get the fear of like, oh my God, I need some liquid, whatever. You can get your monthly stake, your birthday stake.
Basically, you got money coming in almost all the time.
Exactly.
Like once a month, you could do it. Like every week, you're getting paid an end stake, kind of on a ladder.
Yes, but
Right.
I'm more of a pioneer of the building wealth, not just the you know what I mean, the quick flip stuff, because you're just going to price yourself out because the share rate keeps increasing, so your yield gets smaller and smaller because the short-term guy always get less, the long-term guy gets more, and you want to be able to lock in those t-shirts for as long as you can, because this is what happened when you stake. The system take your coin, your hex that you bought, burns it, gives you t-shirts, kind of like a receipt. I'm going to keep track of your gains and everything on the inside of the system. And then when the time is due, because you're going to bring back the receipt, aka you're going to bring back the t-shirts, I'm going to calculate how much I owe you, right? Interest plus principal, I'm going to pay you, and the t-shares are burned. And let's say you go to restake, and let's say the share rate went up 20, 30%. It's only up 83% since inception in hex term. That means that you either lose 80%, 83% of the t-share that you had before for the same money, or you're going to have to stake longer in order to compensate. So the longer pays better goes all the way to 200%. So basically 3x, which maxed out at 10 years. So the longer up to 10 years, you will get up to that 3x. Now, this is what most people will say. Well, Karim, if you max out at 10 years, right, 3,640 days, why would I stake for the 5555? And I say, aha, that's the catch. This is something I pioneered. It's called T-share preservation. Like we were talking about, if you just Google the chart of exponential growth, the last part of the parabola is really where it goes insane. So imagine 3/4 of a parabola is the 10 years, right? Because 15 years, right, divided by 3, 10 is like 2/3, right? From the last third, that's when it really goes insane. You don't want to miss that, because let's say you exit at 10 years. When you go back to restake, you're going to get the new share rate that was 10 years later than when you first got in. Versus those who went for 15, they're still earning that. You see, my payout per t-shirt when it started with my dream account, which I pioneered, was only paying me like at the time $20, $30 a day. Now it's doing literally five figures dollar per day. Well, why is that? Because I I locked in those t-shirts. I was able to catch up with some of the early people, even though I wasn't early. I came after the first 100x. Back to the story, Richard, the Godwell came in and pumped the price. I actually, fun fact, I helped make the top. Kind of like Richard, for 6,000 of a penny because I was buying in from there. But I knew it was long term, and I keep just dollar cost averaging, adding to my stack. And then by the time it created or whatever, I literally just took the 401k money, because I made that other analogy. Hex is like your best 401k version. It pays you better, higher yield. You have full control, right? Custody of your coin, the whim of the market. It's just much, much better. And then again, I always put into perspective. I'm 31 years old. Average person, probably my age or less. I don't know your viewers' age. But the point is, 15 years, oh my God, so long. No, 401k, you can't touch that money until you're 65. If you were to do the math, just to put in perspective, that's 2 15-year stakes you can do before that. Understand? And people are thousands of extras of returns before even. You see what I'm saying? Those are the dreams. Because, oh my God, they don't understand. The average person is already doing it. You're already doing it. You already have the savings account. You already have a 401k. It's nothing new, but it pays you garbage. And sometimes when the market crash, it becomes a 201k. You know what I mean? The joke. So it's like because you're already playing the delayed gratification game. But this one is better because nothing outperforms crypto in the long term, especially if
Right.
you're not out there trading, get yourself wrecked, doing the leverage, all sort of garbage stuff. You just
Yep.
sit tight. And the
Yep.
way I presented to my friends and family in the beginning, based on the worst case scenario, again, quick math, is like if the price never goes up, which is crazy because it's been going crazy. If the price never goes up, just from the average stake, if you play the long-term game, like I said, 15 years becomes nothing when you have 401k that's due in 35 years. You're averaging right now 37%. I mean, yesterday we got 62%. It was insane with the penalties. But just say
Right.
37%. That means let's say you put 10 grand in, right? That's 37. That's $3,700 on your money every year compounded. That's insane before
That's
price appreciation.
insane. That's
So once you
insane.
understand that and you're not playing that game and it's not a get rich quick scheme, right? Grant Cardone used to say all the time, don't go for the get rich quick scheme. Go for the get
Right.
rich for sure. It might take some time, right? People make fun of got to do real estate, this and that. But over time, he's building, he's shoving. And then just the residual from the income generating from that. You get to do all of that with Hex without all the nonsense and like property management, none of this other stuff. So if
Right.
you're a business, if you're in real estate, if you anything related to like rent something, Airbnb, Uber, let's say you have, my brother used to do that, like, multiple cars, this and that, whatever. You don't have human element to worry about. You stay,
Right.
you walk away, you just watch it grow. And out there playing with your keys, get yourself wrecked. You know what I mean? Somebody randomly call you again, oh, I got this project. No, product only. It's finished. Done.
Hmm.
No more work, no
Immutable.
expectation. Finito.
So one thing I want to dive into because I think
Yeah.
it's so important. One of the things you talked about was how the system rewards you for staking longer, right?
Yes.
Which means you take your supply away, and in Hex, if you wanted, let's say you staked for 15 years and
Yes.
you wanted to end that stake 5 years later, you're
Yes.
gonna get hit with a major penalty
Yes.
because the system is basically saying, look, you said you were gonna stake for this long, you can get your money back, but you're going to maybe take a 80% haircut, right? And
Exactly.
then all of those penalties goes back to the staking class
Yes.
who did what they said they were going to do. And
Exactly.
the reason why that's so important for the price of crypto is one of the things that makes the price of crypto go up is by people buying and holding for the long term.
Exactly.
Am I correct?
Yes, because that's just, and by the way, that's just math, right?
Yeah.
Supply demand economics, right? If
Yes.
the demand is steady or increasing, and it's definitely increasing as of late, right? And the supply is, basically trending down or diminishing because, again, people are buying and staking and then taking out of circulation, right? That means price goes up. That's a mathematical fact, right? And another cool thing about the emergency penalty, which is important, is that 50% goes into the OA called the original address, and then it's like the strongest hands. Never sell, it just sits there liquid. It's a function of the system, and I'm going to explain what it does, right? Kind of like monetary policy. But 50% basically never goes back to the market. Since inception, has never sold a single coin, period. And then the other 50% gets spread out to the staker. Now, here's the best part. Staking average keeps increasing. When I got in, it was around 2.8 years. And again, not to toot my own horn, but I really started to preach that building wealth, which is important, 15-year stake.
Right.
Now we are 5.8 trending up. To be at that in average, there's a lot of 15-year stake to cover the 1-year stake to be able to compensate, push that. So as the emergency end state gets fall down, it also goes to super strong hands like myself. My staking average is 13.9 years, trending all the way to 14. I'm not maybe as strong as OA, but still it's 14 years. So when it falls on those, it's not coming back out of circulation anytime soon. Make sense?
Right.
And again,
which
you're
also
building,
pumps the price.
Exactly. Building wealth. And I always say in the community all the time, which makes sense, just like how you're building your retirement account, your CD or whatever, true accumulation never ends. What are we going to do? Go back to fiat and be devalued? No, we're building for the long term. I'm fortunate enough. I work hard. I make extra cash, right? Ray Dallas said it best. Cash is trash. When you have too much of it, just sits there. You have to make that. You have to make that cash work. So for me, a T-shirt, right? I made a tweet earlier today. I don't know if you saw that. It's the best employee in the world. Again, best analogy. It works over time. It works every day. You don't need to yell at him. You don't need to do whatever. And it gets better every time because the productivity rise. The pay up a T-shirt rise. It keeps doing this over time, money getting you paid. So what do you want to do as a businessman? You want to hire more of those people. Those are the best workers in the world. So you add to your stack. That's how you get to a point where your daily payout becomes so stupid where I don't care who you are, trader, expert, this, that, by the way, 90% plus gets wrecked anyway. But it's like they can never compete with you. Your daily payout is insane. And it's not to bribe, but the key is this. You get your life back. See, that's what Hex is. They're
Because you're not
chilling.
focused on trading and all that
Exactly.
bullshit.
You have a better life. You're more relaxed. My friends, I've onboarded hundreds of people. And one of the best thing and feedback that I get is like, dude, I got my life back and I'm staying on the stream.
Right,
I enjoy time with family, enjoy time with my kids. Like, I'm
right,
not stressed out. I want to live longer. I was fighting
right.
depression. I was suicidal. Dude,
Yo,
I'm telling you, crazy stuff.
it's
Crazy.
so wild. I have this thing with Hex, and it really, like, I think it was, I was watching Maddie All In, right?
Yeah.
And he was
Love,
saying
man.
something about thinking about his future self, and it made me think of like this concept theory. I call it the future buried treasure theory, right? And really the way it works is like you're burying treasure that you're gonna uncover in your future self. So if you think about that, it's like, all right, if you knew that you might be uncovering $1 million in 5 or 10 years, how are you going to treat yourself? How are you going to treat your health? Right? What type of person do you want to be to uncover that future buried treasure? Right? And I think that's one of the things that is so genius about Hex is that it really
Absolutely.
puts you in almost like a personal growth mentality, because now you're investing in your future regardless
Exactly.
of even if you had that mentality before Hex.
Exactly. And it gives you that extra motivation, something to look forward to, something to be happy about, something
Right.
that's going to give you that extra. Now, you know how people sometimes said, funny joke, like how like they are maybe like, a little helpless and then they get a kid and then they feel like, they leave for somebody else, so that gives it extra meaning or whatever. Imagine something like that, but that other self is still you, but the future you, right? And that's what we talk about
Mm-hmm.
all the time. And I've been saying that for a while, where it's like your future self will thank you about what you're doing right now. You're delaying
Right.
gratification. You're building, and guess what? You're building the momentum. You're building the mental discipline. That's
Right.
actually what makes you wealthy, right? And
Yep.
this is what's important. I tell people all the time, it's not about making money, it's about building wealth. And if you do it well, kind of like the biblical thing almost, if you do well with a little bit, you're going to do well with a lot, because you're going to build that
Mm-hmm.
mechanics. You're not going to get finesse. You're
Yeah.
not going to be doing
Right.
stupid stuff, right? I tell
Right.
people all the time, like a business 101, like, listen, I do all the time, like stay broke, not poor. Big difference. Big difference. That's why a lot of the wealthy people, they barely sell, if any. They'll even borrow money against their stock, whatever. Why create taxable event for no reason? They just build equity.
Right.
And then if there's a catastrophic event, whatever, maybe they gotta liquidate something or whatever, or something went up so much, a property decide, you know what, I'm tired of maintaining, let me just, cash out, whatever.
Flip it.
But
Yeah.
imagine something like that with a T-share where in the ultimate world, you literally just leave off the interest, restate the principal. Life is good. There's no agenda. There's no play. There's no bullshit. There's no zero sum game. Let me find a way to scam somebody, get their coin from them. No, we work
Right.
together because the system is that good. We
Right.
all remove token out of liquidity by staking for the
Mm-hmm.
long term, building wealth. Price goes up, everybody wins. You see what I'm saying? And it's
Let me
long term thinking. Yep.
let me ask you something. For the average watcher, what do you think of the future of Hex in comparison to Ethereum and Bitcoin? Right, like now Hex is the number three market cap
Mm-hmm.
coin in the world,
Mm-hmm.
and some would say that it's heading towards the number one market cap,
Yes.
past Ethereum, past Bitcoin. So just kind of like, this isn't financial advice, but
Yeah.
just your perspective of like those three tokens, what's going to happen in the future, how you see things playing out with the
Mm-hmm.
math, and
Mm-hmm.
Hex has already flipped the results of Ethereum and Bitcoin. So
Yep.
if you look in last years, that's already happening, right? The
Yep.
results, going back to what you said, you're about results. So just kind of curious of your take on that.
No, perfect. Yeah, and like you said, right, this is not financial advice, but what I always love to say is it's kind of math advice because it's follow the math, right? We are
Right,
in the bear market, and us at the Quant Gang, and again, it's all facts. They can go check the tape. You know this. We called out the bear market months ago when it's
yep,
happening. We saw the bearish pattern, whatever. We understand what the market makers were doing on some stuff and traditional market. So that's going to play a big role because it's easy to catch up into something that's falling down, right? And as you
right,
continue to fall down, it makes it actually easier because also, as we talked about, the game mechanic, right? Hex has something that's very beautiful that's allowing to be sheltered from the rest of the market. Doesn't have the reflexivity. And for the viewer watching, what that means is a lot of the pair of those tokens are basically tied to Bitcoin pair. Ethereum has most of the liquidity tied to Bitcoins, unfortunately, the ETH BTC pair. So therefore, if BTC crash, Ethereum kind of crashed too because it just drags it down. Well,
right,
Hex is different, right? 95% of liquidity is USDC, which
right,
is what you want in a bear market. In the bull market, you don't want to get rid of USDC because we're moving it up, right? In the bear market, it's the opposite. So it's kind of doing its own thing. Then you add to the game mechanic. right? Average stake length keeps rising.
Right.
Liquidity, and I want to be very important. Liquidity in hex term, not in dollar. In dollar, it's literally millions of dollars, 10 to 15 million. Plus, you want to sell $1 million right now of hex, you only get 3% slippage. So that's how
Right.
strong it is. When I say liquidity, I'm talking about total overall coins, which is also related to the sacrifice. More than 2.6 billion hex has already been sacrificed. And again, those are not coming back anytime soon out of circulation.
And we'll go into that soon. Yeah, the post
Exactly.
chain.
So when you add again, number one, right, supply demand, like we're talking about. Number two, game theory about the staker class, staking length increasing, right? Number three, you add the fact that, like I said, most of the pair is USD. It's not related to Ethereum or Bitcoin. Number four, we are in the bear market. I remember very well, just like again, EOS launched in the bear market and did a 40x. People are looking for the next opportunity because they want to salvage their account. That's a fact. And everybody knows Hex can easily go up and is trending up. Therefore, if you want to get a bigger sacrifice value, which we're going to talk about next, it's a smart idea to buy Hex and then sacrifice. You get a bigger value for the value you sacrifice. If you want to get involved into the pulse chain, sacrifice phase. So all those mechanics helps. And people like me that work, that delay gratification, right? Like my coworker have no idea that I got, multi M's, but I'm just, because I've already trained myself how to do exactly, right? Stay broke, not poor. I'm out there working. I love my customer. Everything's great. There's no issue. Money's coming in. So what do? I just buy more, add to my stack. That's how I got to the 5-figure per day. Because in the beginning, it wasn't like that. I just keep adding to the stack, and then you don't look at it. That's why I call the dream account, right? Perspective. What it could do for you in the future, right? So once you do that, as many of us were doing that. So we're adding to that capacity. You feel me? We also got blessed along the years, less than 2 years, but I say along the years, all those free airdrop, the uni airdrop, tornado cash, we dumped all that crap into it. And that's how you pump so hard. So we got blessed because we made Uniswap popular, which is important. We're not an centralized exchange. We don't deal with, all the fake trading volume, the spoofing, all the manipulation. We can see everything on chain, right? Everybody can go see that.
Everything's on chain.
Hex trading chat, they spot everything. I'm sometimes hanging out there just for fun. So everything's on chain. We know what's going on. You look at the market, you look at what Richard has done, and again, what pulse chain opportunity can be. So when you combine all of that, I wouldn't be surprised. Again, no financial advice, but I wouldn't be surprised if Hex is #1 market cap, either the end of this year, literally, or early next year. Because again, factoring the bear market and everything like that, because again, the fundamentals are there, and the unit bias is still great because we're still pennies. We haven't even cracked the dollar yet, and that's only like what 5x from here, more or less. So when you add all those things and you add the fact that we've been gatekept for a while, when we're still not in front of CoinMarketCap, Nomics.com, shout out to them, go to there to find out what's going on, and all this other stuff, opportunity. Plus you got new people getting involved, new project map, whatever you want to call it, tokens that want to migrate. I saw the tweet, I forget the name, but there's a big Trust Wallet, I think, or Trust Swap. They said they want to support the Pulse chain, which is great. And once we talk about the token economic pulse,
let's go into that. What is the pulse chain? And we got about 5 minutes just to wrap up. Just to dive in, like, what's pulse chain? And I'm sacrificing. I know you're sacrificing. Kind of tell us a little bit about why you believe in this project.
Perfect. So again, to keep it simple for the viewer, right? Because they obviously know about Ethereum, right? So it was basically kind of a political statement because the fees are too high, and then especially for the Hexicans, we had problem with our stakes because the fee was high for that, because we got personally hit by that, because we read to disk. So that's kind of what started. It's not like Richard wanted to, fork, but because it became like that, then you can't fix it. Boom, we'll do it ourselves, right? Bitcoin couldn't fix itself. Boom, again, take initiative. So that's that. So to make it simple, it's basically EVM compatible. It's like imagine a better version of Ethereum coming directly proof of stake ready, right? So we're going to beat Ethereum to market, right? That's very, very important because it was heavily anticipated. So, and how investors think, right? How many years have we waited? It's crazy. If something comes in and do what you said you're going to do and better, and there's more game mechanic, I'm going to talk about that, then who's going to wait? No, hell no. It's called whoever first to market beats wins. That's just investment 101. So it's a better version of Ethereum because it moved already to the 2.0 version, right? Proof of stake, which is great. And what Richard did, which is very smart and actually wise and he cares, is instead of launching empty, right, like BSC or or Matic or sort of stuff, it comes with a system state. So we're not trying to enrich like the new people. It brings literally the older people too. So it's like you have no excuse. You can participate in that too because you're getting the
Biggest
same coins.
airdrop ever.
Exactly. So you're getting the same coin that you got on the other one. So you don't feel like, oh, my hard work, to be fair, is being stifled away. Like, no, it's more like an opportunity. It's like if me and you and I were getting the business, right? And I come and I say, dude, I'm good at what I do. I can grow your business, right? 30 to 40% because I'm confident. I know what I can fix this and that. You see, that's smart for me to say, hey, pay me just on the surplus. You feel me? Mm-hmm. Pay me on, just give me an opportunity. I don't want a salary. I want equity. But pay me based on how high I can grow the business. You feel me? Because the 100%, that's your money. You work hard for that. Why should I go get that? But if I can get it from 100 to 130, then I want you to give me a cut of that 30% growth. Because you see, and that's how good business is made. And it's creating the professional set. We call it like a win-win-win, right? So I'm creating a situation where nobody lose. So that's what Richard did. Bringing the system state, right? Obviously, faster, cheaper fees, better. And one more fundamental, which is amazing. There's no inflation. You see, because EIP 1559 comes in, but Ethereum still got inflation. So if we say, oh, we're burning 25% of the transaction, they're burning also. Yeah, but they still got inflation, which counterbalance. And right now, again, quick maths, we're in a bear market. Ethereum is not doing the fee volume that it used to do. So who's going to burn those coins? It's not going to go deflationary like most people think, because if there's not enough volume to compensate the heavy inflation that's already there, it's not going to do what people think it's going to do. But Pulse is better because, number one, there's no inflation. And number two, after the sacrifice, whatever the tokens created, that's it, bro. There's no more. That's it. That's the final number. From there, it's just deflationary. So 25% of the volume burn, and as more volume picks up, the more the burn is going to be, which is amazing. And most people, Hexicans, are already long-term minded. We're going to get a copy of our Hex. We're not struggling for money. We're just probably going to do what we do all the time. Money printers. I call them money printers. We're going to get money printers on Ethereum, money printers on Pulse. And Pulse is also a staking coin. We need to remember that.
Yeah.
It's not as good as Hex in APY, but nonetheless, it's a staking coin. So what do you think we're going to do? We're just going to chill. Stake that joint, get paid at the bare minimum. That's another use case. You're getting your transaction for free. Because if you stake your Pulse, you're earning the yield.
Which
it may not be crazy, but the yield pays you
thousands a year. Thousands a year.
Thousands. Because like Matic, for people know that, that the fee is going to be very, very cheap in the beginning. So even if you're getting, 5% APY or whatever, it could easily be enough to cover all your fees. And then what if the price start to pump, right? What is the right now? Again, we're just going based on the fact. EOS launched in the bear market and did 40x. That's the minimum you could do. Why is that? Because EOS is supposed to be also the Ethereum competitor or whatever. And we're better because we come in with a system state, which nobody else has done.
And use case of Hex, right?
Exactly.
It's like no matter what, Hex is on there. And it's
no matter what. And then Matic still pump like crazy. You feel me? So it's like, if Matic can do it and we have superior technology, right? Superior game theory, token burning, then I don't see why. And again, we're getting adoption. We're in the bear market. We're basically saving the people right now. Right now, we have raised total more than like almost on this way to 600 million. It's like 570 and change.
Half a billion right there.
Exactly, more than half a billion, and then 26 million for charity, which is amazing to the Saints Foundation. They don't get 1-to-1 credit, but they get 75% credit. But nonetheless, we already crossed the 600 billion when you add everything combined, because we don't know the Bitcoin Cash and the other stuff because it's going to be tracked at the end. But all of that is going to come in as well, and we're still only on day 7.
And you can still sacrifice. So briefly, how would you sacrifice if you wanted to?
Me looking at the math and everything, and again, just a little hopium for fun. Hex was designed to do 10,000 Hex in 2.5 years, right? And it's well around this target. If you add the staking, we definitely already did that. But let's just say that we're very close to that. What does that mean for the viewer? That means it's a 56 cents Hex, and we are at 16 cents right now, roughly 15, 16 cents. So who knows? Again, look at the problem, look at the chart. You know what I mean? You go put your own conclusion there. But the point of the matter is, the reason why it's smart mathematically to buy Hex to sacrifice, it's because let's say you buy Hex and then the price goes up, then the value of your sacrifice goes up, because for every $1, right, you get the points conversion, right? It started out for every $1, you get 10,000 points. So basically 10,000 pulse. All the way to day 5. Day 6, starting day 6, you lose 5% compounded. So 5% was a day ago, Today is another 5%, which is compounded. That means 11%, right? And all the way to the end of the sacrifice phase, it's basically double. So basically you lose, when I say 100%, you just double the cost. So instead of $1, 10,000 points, you get $1, 5,000 points. But still, it's 5,000 points. Imagine you're a VC. Imagine you got into Coinbase and your cost basis, because that's what it means in math. $1, 10,000 points means that your price per unit shares, it's 0.0001. So 30 and then a 1. That's near zero. And it's going to launch at zero. So it's like, so it's one of the best entry points you can get. And let's say you came super late, last day. You only get the 1 point for 5,000 instead of 10,000. Well, guess what? Let's do the math on that. That means your entry is 0.0002. So it's still very, very good compared to you don't do it. Let's say launch and it explodes up the gate. You're probably never going to get that lower price. Again, no guarantee, but the point is it's already very, very close. Because if you just like sit on your Ethereum, let's say, right, or your ERC, you only get the one-to-one copy. So let's say you're Vitalik. You're going to love this. Let's say you're Vitalik and you have 300,000 ETH, okay? And you don't sacrifice, you don't participate, okay? It gets copied. You get 300,000 pulse, right? One-to-one. Guess what? One of your viewers right now could sacrifice $30, $30, and get the same amount of pulse or close to it. I mean, based on the 10,000 ratio. So let's say $35. He will get the same amount of pulse than Vitalik would have. Because let's say
airdrop is pretty minimum of
exactly. Instead of you getting to the sacrifice, because the ratio, because everybody else is being diluted by 10,000, which makes sense. Because why should you reward somebody that's not going to participate, right? So
that's the whole point.
Exactly. And all I'm saying, and you can sacrifice all the different coins that's been advertised, USDC included, blah, blah, blah. The only way I say, to some people it was smart, because imagine those who bought it at, 2, 3 cents, 5 cents, 8 cents, it went to 16. They got double the value of their sacrifice. So obviously, dips are in the game. But the bottom line is it's a 30-minute TWAP. So let's say you buy and then you sacrifice within 30 minutes, whatever the price was, it just locks that in for your sacrifice. And you can track it from one of the websites. So it's not going to be crazy. And right now, it's really awesome. It's trending back up, stabilizing itself, 15, 16 cents. You can just come in, set up your target, do your sacrifice, and you just chill. I will recommend.
I'll make sure to put in the website.
Yes, please. And if they're going to sacrifice, because I never promote people to trade, right? You're going to get wrecked. Be careful. The sooner you do it, the better, because you're still losing that 5% compounded every day. Technically, the day ends in about 3 hours, right? Because the HEX day just ended. Yay, 8 p.m. We just got paid. But the thing is, the day for the sacrifice before the next 5%, you got 3 hours. So for those watching, if it's live, definitely get on that, because you can save yourself 5% if you're not a trader. I would highly recommend to make a move now, just so that you can just be done, set it up, forget it, and be set. You know what I mean? And one more thing related to pulse for the launch. That's a little caveat. Those who basically just only get their copy, right? Never participate, forget about it, everything, and then they woke up one day, oh, I got free pulse. Well, guess what? You got for the Ethereum, not the ERC, those are going to be copied no matter what. For the Ethereum to free pulse one-to-one, you got 30 days to move that pulse to another wallet. If you don't, it gets taken back. So let me give you an example. Let's say you had 2 Ethereum, okay? And let's say you decided to sacrifice whatever other coins that give you maybe 100,000 pulse, okay, to the sacrifice. So in your wallet, you should get the 100,000 and then the 2, right? But if you don't move the 2, it's going to get removed, because that was part of just the copy, only for the Ethereum, not like ERC or whatever. So it's important. It's basically saying you got freemium. Exactly. Yeah. It's basically saying you got some freemium, but if you don't use the freemium within 30 days, because you don't want to participate apathy, then it gets removed. So it's important that they keep that in mind.
I love that. So wrapping up, how can people follow you and watch your content? I know you're dropping mad knowledge bombs for the audience. How can people get in touch with you and stay in tune with what you're doing?
Primarily, I would say Twitter. It's very important. You'll say @YourMagic. And the easiest way, shout out to Matty Allen, is he gave me a link that brings me directly to my Twitter. It's really cool. It embodies what I am in HEX and what I want to do, which is stakerclass.com, literally. So, right, STA, right? Staker with a K. KER, stakerclass.com, right? I'm going to put it in the private chat too, so you can put in for people. Stakerclass.com. You click that link, it literally just brings you to my Twitter. definitely
Dope.
there. And you can follow there. I don't tweet all the times, but I tweet when I think it's very valuable. Obviously, I retweet Richard a lot, but I like to add really valuable content, not just spam people for no reason. So it's a really important thing. Obviously, mainly Hex related because there's so much going on. It's so much
Yep.
fun. And one more thing, which is very important, I do this personally because I care. Have you heard about the Staker app?
Yep.
Yes, which is very powerful. It's one of the best app we have again in Hex. Super easy, protects people, all in one shop. You can You can swap, you can stake all into your phone. You don't go to random sites. So many people got scammed. So many people give their key, and it's so sad because it was a life-changing wealth. So I really love that because it's like a sandbox all in one, and you can sacrifice directly to the Staker app too, which is really, really cool. It's the easiest way to sacrifice without making a mistake, going to the wrong link. Because you do everything, you tell them where to go, but then they don't, and then the scams out there. You connect to the wrong thing, then you get wiped out. So Staker app does that, which is really cool. And inside my Twitter on the top, there's a link for the Staker app because what I do is I help people get onboarded. I've onboarded hundreds of people and I pay for their wallet literally to be turned on. So there's no excuse. I'm gonna pay for the fee. Don't worry about it. We'll get you running so you can buy your Hex directly from there. You can sacrifice your pulse. And in the future, it's gonna be amazing because I'm very close with them. You're gonna be able to see your pulse on Hex, your Hex on Pulse, your Hex on Ethereum, and your Pulse Chain. Everything all in one-stop shop. It's gonna be amazing. They have great updates coming in. They're doing a competition right now. So this is literally our flagship, really nice. So you can download directly from the Twitter on the link. And then from there, you can reach out to me on Telegram. Make sure, very important, all on Twitter, worst case now, but on Telegram, Hex Crypto, show them the place, right? Almost 30,000 users. You can't miss it. Next to Pulse Chain. And then I am basically at Hex Dream Account. And you don't see this beautiful face, but people trying to steal the Karim word because that's my name. So I just put the at Hex Dream account. So you're talking to me. And I put a lot of emoji when I talk. If it's don't see the emoji, it's a bot.
It's
Okay.
not real.
It's not real. Because then when you see me, then I send you basically I help you get turned on. Because once you get in there, he's gonna say, hey, you're ready to go. Only the app needs to be paid. And then you reach out to me, I confirm that you're a real person. Guys, it costs money, right? It's not free. So we're just only serious people. Either you want to sacrifice for Pulse or you want to get yourself some Hex. Click the link, download the Staker app, and then reach out to me on Telegram at Hex Dream account. I'll put all the links here. And then I'll help you get activated, ready to go. Worst case scenario, you can, if you already have MetaMask or whatever, you can still click the link, download the Staker app, and then just view your stake, do the view only mode. But you literally have nothing to lose. Because I literally pay for the wallet to be activated. So
I love it.
But I would like to only pay for those who are going to use it. If you're just going to
put all that information in the show notes. So I'll make sure you get all that, y'all. Karim, thank you so much for your time and knowledge, my brother. I really appreciate you.
Very well.
The audience, man, thanks y'all for watching, tuning in. Make sure you that like and subscribe.
Yep. Absolutely. And again, one last thing.